Matthew chapter 15. Matthew chapter 15. Matthew chapter 15. I love that poem Deacon Cousins shared today. He always blesses us with that, and then he sang out of the depths of his soul as well. And then the deaconess, some of them were up today helping, and so we thank God for them. Amen. Matthew chapter 15. I want to lift up this text beginning at verses 21 and concluding around verses 28. So good to see Ron Cook in the house. God bless you, sir. Hallelujah. And his lovely wife. God bless them in the name of the Lord. Matthew 15. I want to begin our reading at the 21st verse. I'll give you a moment to turn there. But while you're turning there, as always, I want you to make a big deal over our online church. Come on, do that for us. Please let them hear you. Let them know that they are a part of us and we appreciate them. Hallelujah. We don't take them for granted. We got 2,000 services that you could be watching today, but we thank God that you have joined in and tuned in with us, for which we are glad. We do hope that you would share this message. However, don't just watch it and keep it to yourself. Would you share it, please, and let others know the good time that we're having at Calvary. Thank you, Nikki. Thank you, Brandon. Thank you, G. Those of you who are carrying our service live, thank you so much for your efforts. Matthew 15, beginning at verses 21. Then Jesus went there and departed into the coast of Tyre and Sidon. And behold, a woman of Canaan came out of the same coast and cried unto him, saying, Have mercy on me, O Lord, thou son of David. My daughter is grievously troubled or vexed with a devil. And he answered her not a word. And his disciples came and besought him, saying, Send her away, for she crieth after us. But he answered and said, I am not sent, but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Then came she and worshipped him, saying, Lord, help me. But he answered and said, It is not right to take the children's bread and to toss it to dogs. She saith, Truth, Lord, yet the dogs eat of the crumbs which fall from their master's table. Then Jesus answered and said unto her, O woman, great is your faith. Be it unto you, even as you will. And her daughter was made whole from that very hour. The word of the Lord for the people of the Lord. Glory be to the Lord. I want to talk for just a few moments. A mother never gives up on her child. A mother never. I said a mother never. I said a mother never gives up on her child. Just a few moments. I want to talk about the footsteps, the fight, and the faith of a mother. The footsteps, the fight, and the faith, Ron, of a mother. Mother never gives up on her child. Before I preach, I just want to shout out my mother, Charlene Francis Jordan, who's in the bosom of Abraham, resting until that day the Lord claims us all. But I want to thank my mother for representing, and thank God for impacting my life, changing my life, making my life what it is. There would be no me if it weren't for her. So I just want to shout Mother Charlene Jordan out today. Amen. There is no stronger love than a mother's love. In fact, our most memorable moments are probably with our mothers. We've had some wonderful, warm, awesome memories, but I would be pressed to argue, I think that most of our most memorable and even most favorite moments and memories are probably with our mothers. I remember the care and the compassion and the concerns that my mother had. If you'll come along with me, many of you too, remember the cares and the concerns and the compassion your mother had and still have. The baths, the lotion, away of our ash. Okay, you remember the blowout kits and the hot straight combs in the kitchen, long hours getting a blowout. Nobody could tell you nothing after it was over, and you sat there for hours as mom worked on that head, and you better behave while she's working on that head for hours, and you better not ask her when she's getting finished. She's going to finish when she finishes. How about the one look warning at the church that mama gave us, Deacon Cousins, when she sat in the choir, and we, along with our friends, were somewhere in the balcony cutting up and coloring in hymn books, and mama just gave us one look, and you knew that the hymn book better go back, you better behave, and you better not cut up, because you knew that if you cut up, mama was going to cut up too. And one look just straightened you out. And somebody remembers that. And somebody also remembers the Vaseline face that we were glowing and shining when we came out for church. We were ready. Nobody could tell us nothing. We were clean as the board of health. Or how about the laying out of our clothes on Saturday night? Oh, because you were going to church. It wasn't that you had to decide if you were going or not. You were going to church, and your clothes got laid out on Saturday night, and you knew to get up, because if you didn't, you were getting a whipping, and mama didn't play when she whipped you, and you swore that she was trying to kill you. And yeah, somebody here understands that the whippings that mama beat you with and the whelps that came on your body, and you better not cry. You better not try to fight back, because mama was certainly tear your behind up. But not only that, the mother who could beat us was also the mother who could love us, and the laughter that we had as she allowed us in her kitchen, as she baked cakes and cookies. And remember the tucking in the bed at night and seeing us off to school in the morning. Somebody remembers the hugs and the kisses and even the protection from daddy when daddy wanted to whip us. And remember the conversations that mama had that she still holds in secrets and hold to the grave. You remember the time some of you brought home a boyfriend or a girlfriend, and mama straight up looked at him or her and said, I don't like him, or I don't like her. And you cried, and mama said, I could just see something about him that I don't like, and I can just see something about her that I don't like. And mama ended up being right anyway, whether you liked it or not, because mama could see through folks. And somebody here understands those kind of times. Remember, I'm gonna get you with this. When your mom was a chaperone on a field trip that you went on, and you thought that you were so good and no teacher could tell you nothing that day because your mama was a chaperone, and you were so proud because all the kids and the teachers love your mama and how pretty your mama was. And on that day, everybody wanted your mama as their mama, but that was your mama, and you give God praise for the memories of your mama. Mother, cousins, moms are from God. I believe that with all of my heart. Moms are from God. And if you still have yours here on earth, then you ought to give God praise. And if God has found it so to fit to take your mother, then you still ought to give him praise for the many blessed memories that we have for a lifetime. So what are the footsteps? What are the fights? What are the faith that we see in this loving mother, this loving Syrophoenician woman, this woman of Canaan, this woman who was out of the mainstream of society, this woman who was marginalized, this Syrophoenician woman, that place in Syria, a Roman province, today is modern day Syria, Lebanon, and Turkey, that region that she comes out of, that Jesus and Jews had nothing to do with. Yet this woman says when she got up this morning that I am going to walk and take my footsteps toward Jesus. I'm going to go where I'm probably not permitted to go, go, but I'm going anyhow because I love this girl that God has gave me. I love this baby who I carried in my womb for 9 months. She's found her way off, and she's off and on, not on the right track. She's cutting up. A devil is in her. A demon has possessed her, and I'm getting up this morning to go where I believe that I can get her help. Let's trace her footsteps, Mother Rose. She comes out of the Syrophoenician region. This is 12 miles north geographically from the border which we see Jesus separating the Canaanite and the Jewish people. You got to get this, 12 miles north geographically. The demographics of where Jesus was and the demographics of where she was approximately 12 miles. Don't you see that she got up that morning and said, I don't care how many miles it's going to take me to get to Jesus. I'm going. My footsteps are in his direction. I know that it's a long journey, but I'm going because I love my little girl so much. This little girl I carried, I cannot stand to see her possessed one more day. A mother's love will get a mother up to do motherly things, to get to a Christ that can help our situation. A mother said, I don't care how many miles it is, but I'm going to get my footsteps in front of this man that I've been hearing so much about. I know that they're not going to let me see him. I know that there's going to be somebody to buffet me from getting him because I am a woman of Canaan. I got some things going against me. First of all, my sex. First of all, my race, and then my class. I got 3 things going against me: my race, my gender, and my class. Is there anybody here that understands that is not just one thing? Sometimes it's 2 and 3 things on top of that. And you know you've got some walls and hurdles to come through. It's not just that she's a Canaanite woman. The problem is that she's a woman. The problem not only that is that she's in the wrong class. Somebody knows what I'm talking about. Sometimes it seems like the odds are stacked up against us, yet we must be like this Syrophoenician woman and make up in our mind that we got a plan to get to Jesus. 12 miles, I don't care. North, I know he's south, that doesn't matter. Geographically, I'm going to get to Jesus. Here's the first thing I need to tell you is that this mother had a plan. You can write it down or you can shout it out. You can put it in chats, but the whole thing is that this mother had a plan. Brothers and sisters, when I think about my mother always had a plan. Somebody here understands that their mother too always had a plan. It didn't matter what was stacked up against us. It didn't matter what the odds were. Mother can make a meal stretch. Is there anybody here that understands what I'm talking about? Mother can make $1 go all week long. Mother can make a little go to much. Mother could do anything. It seemed like mother was superwoman. It looked like she was Wonder Woman. Looked like when you thought it was bad, mother said, oh, that ain't nothing, baby. Mother had a plan. Is there any mothers in here right now or online that you got a plan? You got a plan to get to the Lord by any means necessary. She's coming out of the coast, Cheryl. She's coming out of the border. I'm going to get you with this, Renee. Some of us are coming out of borderline situations. We're coming out of situations that are not favorable. We're coming out of the wrong tracks. We're coming from the other side. We're coming sometimes from the hood, but it's all good. We're coming from the ghetto, but God got grace. Is there anybody here that says we're coming from the marginalized, but God got a ministry that can help even us? Is there anybody here that says we're not coming from much, but I'm going to more? Is there anybody that knows that when you have a plan, it doesn't matter where you're coming from, it's going to matter where you end up? Is there anybody here that says, oh, I came from the other side of the tracks, but I came anyhow? Somebody say, I came from crack base, but I'm here now. Somebody says, I came from drinking fits all day, but I'm clean and sober now. Somebody say, I came out of divorce, but I'm here right now in the divine. Somebody says, I came out of hell, but I'm facing heaven. Is there anybody who has a plan? Evangelist Brown, she has a plan. She has a plan to get to Jesus no matter what. Bell Hooks says that the moment we choose to love, we begin to move forward toward our freedom and act in ways that not only liberate us, but liberate others. That's Bell Hooks. She says, whenever we have a plan, what happens is we fall in love with that plan. That plan begins to move us forward so that we can liberate ourselves and others. So she loved herself, but she loved her daughter even more. And she says, I've got to get out of the comfort zones. I've got to get out of Canaan. I've been letting this girl be possessed for a while, but today is the day that I execute my plan. My plan has got to work because Jesus is on the other end of my plan. If I can just get to him, I know there's going to be haters. I know there's going to be people there that try to block me. I know there's going to be people there that don't want to see me. I know they're going to be looking at me sideways. I know they're going to be talking spicy. I know they're going to be acting up and rolling their eyes. I already know it, but I'm going anyhow. Is there anybody here that says, I already know that I'm going to reach some objects? I already know that I'm going to have some challenges. I already know that I'm going to have some haters. I already know that I'm going to have some shot blockers, but I'm going anyhow because I have a plan. She has a plan, sissy. But not only does she have a plan, but the text will show as I get ready to give it to you that she's prepared herself for this encounter and experience. Look at verses 22. And behold, a woman came out of the same coast and cried unto him, here's my plan. Have mercy on me, Lord, Son of David. That's the beginning of her plan, that she says, I'm going toward Jesus. But not only that, I'm preparing myself to call him by his proper name. Because when I call him by his proper name, I'll get all of his attention. She says, Lord, thou Son of David. In other words, I know that I'm a woman of Canaan, but I know who you are. I know that I'm coming from the wrong side of the tracks, but I know who you are. I know that I'm coming from the bottom, but I'm all the way up because I know who you are. Is there anybody here that says my plan and my preparation is that I'm first going to call him by his proper name? Is there anybody here that can just say, Lord? No, that's half of your battle right there, Donna. All you got to do is just say, Lord. How many mountains have God moved just by way of just saying, Lord? How many burdens have God moved just because you said, Lord? How many demons have God run up out of your life just by the fact that you said, Lord? But by the fact that you just say, Lord, before you say anything else, that's half of your battle right there, Lord. I'm prepared to encounter this Lord, this Son of David, with the situation. I've got my footsteps in the right direction. I've got a plan, and I'm prepared. Let's look at the text. Verse 22 says that when she says, have mercy on me, O Lord, Son of David, my daughter is grievously vexed with a devil. So Jasmine, what she does is she presents the problem to the Lord. I'm just going to kind of make it real good today and simple. She presents, Gary, the problem to the Lord. She doesn't go around the bush. She doesn't try to get too deep or theologically savvy. She doesn't try to impress him with hermeneutics or Greek. She just says, Lord, my daughter is grievously troubled with a demon. That's the problem. She's got my house upside down. Lord, she is tearing things up. Lord, addiction has got a hold of her. Lord, she got a no good boyfriend come on. Lord, my daughter has gotten my life turned upside. Lord, my daughter got a demon inside of her. So she presents the problem to the Lord. Come here. I'm trying to help somebody. Stop trying to be cute, telling the Lord what you need the Lord to do. The Lord already knows what's going on. You ain't got to fix it up. You ain't got to perfume it up. You ain't got to cologne it up. You need to just say, Lord, my stuff is tore up from the floor up. And it's going to still be tore up unless you get a hold of it. Is there anybody here that says, I'm tired of playing church? I'm tired of playing too holy. Somebody need to say, my house is tore up. Or you might as well say, my child is wilding. Because when you tell the Lord the truth, the Lord can do some things with the truth. I feel like I'm by myself in here, but I thank God that this woman presented the problem to the Lord. And if you can get inside of this mother's spirit, she wanted the best for her child. Mother never gives up on her child. No, she doesn't tell Jesus what the child's been doing, because he already. And watch this. She don't have to tell nobody else. Everybody all up in your Kool-Aid, but can't help you. Come on, somebody. You don't have to tell everybody what you're going through. Lord, my daughter is grievously vexed with the devil. That's all. That's all we need to talk about, because what that does is it inculcates everything that you might can imagine. She's got my house on lock. Lord, she's got me on lock. Watch this. The Bible then says that the Lord doesn't even answer her. Ramona, this is cold-blooded. I mean, you've got to see this. This seems to be contradictory to the Jesus that we know. She presents the problem to Jesus, and he actually doesn't say anything. She presents wholeheartedly, straight down the middle. She presents the problem to the Lord. After 12 miles of walking in the dusty Mediterranean basin of the Palestinian region, the sun kissing her and baking her, she finally gets to Jesus. She presents the problem to him, but God, he doesn't say a word. Is there anybody here, if you can be transparent, if you can be honest, if you could be like this Syrophoenician mother and say, you know, that often sometimes feels like me, because I too feel like my prayers have been unanswered. I too feel like the Lord hasn't looked on my situation. I too feel like my challenges are still very much in front of me. I still feel like I'm wrestling and wobbling through life. I still feel all alone when you got a house full of people. Somebody right here knows that this woman is not by herself. She presents the problem to Jesus, but the Bible says that Jesus doesn't answer a word. Look at verse 23. I'm almost gone. He said, but he answered her not a word. And then to make matters worse, Mother Rose, the disciples get involved and they begin to chime in and they say, Lord, do you want us to handle this? Why don't you just send her away? Your day is busy. She's not on our itinerary. She doesn't have an appointment with you. They want to send her away. After 12 miles of walking, being kissed by the Palestinian sun, I finally get to Jesus. I know I'm a Canaanite. I know y'all have no dealings with us. I know that Jews think they're better than us, but I'm here. And guess what? I'm not going home until I get an audience with Jesus. Is there anybody here that says, I'm not going home? You can cut up if you want. I can cut up with you. I'm not going home until I present my problem to Jesus. And I'm offended so far that he hasn't even answered me, but I'm even more offended that y'all are going to chime in and try to tell him to send me away. Is there anybody here that can understand that if it ain't one thing or another? I knew that I was going to encounter some of y'all fools when I got up this morning. I knew some of y'all were going to be here to try to block me from getting to my Lord. I said in my mind when I woke up this morning, some of the people around him going to try to block me from getting to him. But guess what? I'm prepared to go through disciples today. I'm prepared to go through, come on somebody, I'm prepared to run through board meetings. I'm prepared to run through now, because I ain't come all this here way for you to block me from seeing my Jesus. You can hear her saying, Deacon Cousins, I'm trying to be nice about it. Now, I done walked 12 miles, ain't for no stuff. Now, he here, I'm here. Y'all see your way out of it. Gonna tell him to send me away. So she presents the problem, but the problem is that Jesus actually doesn't answer her at all. So then she goes on, if you look, it's right here, I'm going to take you through it. Verse 24, when he finally does speak, in verse 24, his words are not even favorable then, because he says to her, I am not sent, but unto the lost sheep of Israel, the house of Israel. So when he answers her, it's not even favorable. So she finally gets an answer from him, but it doesn't seem to be favorable to her. So the next thing is that she's very persistent. I'm almost gone. I'm giving you the P's today. So not only does she present her problem, not only did she have a plan, not only was she prepared, but the text suggests that she was persistent. Because by that time, many would have turned away and said, you know what, I'm not going through all of this. I mean, you didn't have to treat me this way. The disciples are really rude. I've come 12 miles, and you won't even talk to me? I mean, I don't need this, but she doesn't go away. Donald, she has tenacity to boot. She engages Jesus like no one else in New Testament scripture. Because Jesus says, I'm not sent, but I got priorities. My ministry's for the Jews. My ministry is to recover the Jews and bring them back to Jesus. That's what I'm here for. She says, I'm going to engage you because I kind of expected all of this. So she goes on and look at verse 25. Then she came. She has persistence. Look at verse 25, because here is the key pivotal verse. Then she came and worshiped him. Y'all didn't get it. That's the key pivotal verse of her persistence, because it didn't seem favorable. First, he didn't answer her in verse 23. And then in verse 24, Brother Cook, he doesn't even seem to be favorable by helping her situation. So in verses 25, she said, ain't nothing left for me to do but worship you. I think I'm going to help somebody right there on site and online. Here it is. When things don't seem to go your way, probably the next step to do is go on and worship. Is there anybody here that says, you know what, I might as well worship? Things don't seem to be going my way. Life seems to be going in the other direction. Challenges are still in my face. It seems like circumstances are still here. I'm still wrestling with the same addiction, still wrestling with the same people. All I need to do is worship. Can I tell you that your secret out of your hell might be worship? No, scratch that. The secret out of your hell is worship. Watch this. She worships him because she probably says, you know what? If I got to go back home to this demon-possessed little girl, then I'm going to need to worship you first, so that when I get back home and ain't nothing changed. Mic me up just a little bit. My voice is leaving me. There's somebody here that knows, my brothers and sisters, that he goes. She says, I'm going to worship him if I got to go back home and ain't nothing changed. Is there anybody here that's in the mindset of worshiping him? Is there anybody here that's in the mentality of worshiping him? Because you don't know if you're going to get your healing, but you're going to worship. You don't know if you're going to get your breakthrough all the time, but you do know you know how to worship. You don't know if folk going to change or not, but you do know how to worship. You don't know if your bill's going to get paid on time or not, but you do know how to worship. You don't care if everybody don't like you, because you know how to worship. You don't know if you're going to get everything you ask for, but you still know how to worship. Do I have any worshipers in the house, online or on site? Worship. Donna, the Bible says, Gary, that she came and worshiped him and said, Lord, help me. Watch the switch, Mother Lester. Remember now, she presents first her daughter. Evangelist Burgess, it doesn't look like she's going to get that healing. So then she switches it. I presented to you what my daughter's going through. You don't seem like you're going to do nothing about that. I'm going to worship you anyhow because you're worthy, but I'm going to need you to help me. I'm really going to actually need you to help me. Because maybe if you help me in my act of worship, then I'll have enough in your presence that when I go back home to Becky, I can help Becky over her situation. Because if you're not going to do it, I'm going to worship you anyhow because you're worthy. Is there anybody here that's going to worship him anyhow? You see, everything doesn't always go according to plan, but he's still worthy. Somebody know he's worthy. You didn't get the door open, but he's worthy. You didn't get the new house, but he's worthy. You didn't get the new promotion, but he's worthy. You didn't get the money, but he's still worthy. He walked out on you, but he's still worthy. She's crazy, but he's worthy. She worships. She worships. Y'all told me I can take my time today because y'all said you want me to take my time. So I need about 10 more minutes. I'm gone, I promise. So here it is. So verse 26, here's another shift in the text. Evangelist Rim, verse 26 says, but he answered and said, still not favorable. Wow, he's going to make this really hard, Deborah. So when he finally speaks again, he says, it is not right for me to take Israel's bread and toss it to dogs. Okay, first you don't answer me. Then your disciples try to send me away. Then you tell me that I'm not part of your priority. And then you tell me that if you were going to help me, it's the appropriation of crumbs. And then on top of that, are you calling me a dog? She said, this thing is going way left. Look, man, I came 12 miles today in the Palestinian sun. My feet are swollen. My ankles are swollen. Your disciples had the nerve to send me away. I'm hot. I'm bothered. The house is tore up. I don't know what's going on when I get back. I'm really. She doesn't do that. She's persistent. Here's what I need to show you as I get ready to leave you. First of all, this woman is not combative. She's compassionate. There are some people who are so combative that you don't even want to fool with them. They're so combative, back and forth, tit for tat. She's not, don't look at this text and look at her this way. She is not combative, she is compassionate for her daughter. Secondly, she is not confrontational, she's concerned. Some people are so confrontational, always got a chip on their shoulder. You can't get nothing being confrontational. She's not confrontational, she's concerned. And she says, I'm not going to let my feelings get in the way of my daughter's healing. Because at the end of the day, she's basically saying, Mother Brown, that it ain't about me. It's about that little girl that I had and carried 9 months ago. I want to get mad. I may want to rise up. I may want to say something, but at the end of the day, it ain't about me. It's about her. And so what it is, I'm going, when Jesus says the word dog, you probably want to write this down. You know I did my homework. I always do. The word dog here in this text, Jesus uses a metaphor of dog from the Hebrew derivative. This is very important because the word here in Hebrew is kunarion. Kunarion actually means little puppies that are welcome in the house. That's what the Hebrew derivative and etymological word for dog here means. Jesus didn't call her a dog. Jesus basically used the Hebrew word kunarion. Now the Greek word for dog is kuon. Kuon, Kuon, actually means a wild pack of dirty dogs. That's not the term that he's using here. He's not using the Greek kuon, which means a wild pack of desert dirty dogs that are not welcome in my house. Do y'all see it? He's using the Hebrew word kanurion, which means the little cute puppies that are welcome in my house. Here it is. Jesus spoke Aramaic, not Greek or Hebrew. So he actually comes out of his lingua franca to give her a word of affection. Jesus didn't call her a dog. In fact, he stopped speaking Aramaic to go to his Hebrew tongue to let her know that you're welcome in my house. Is there anybody here that kind of understands a little bit better now that the Lord did not call her a dog? He basically was saying, you are welcome in my house, but my ministry has priorities. And usually what happens is the welcome pets are under the table, but they eat too. Is there anybody here that says a crumb from the Lord is all right with me? I gotta go, but the troubling thing of the text is that she is nameless. She is blameless. Tracy, she is harmless. She is classless. She is hopeless. She is voiceless. Yet she continues to be persistent, worships him. And brothers and sisters, I thank God that she shows that she's not coming to him in a womanist or feminist fashion. She's coming to him as a mother. I got to say this because I wouldn't be teaching it right if I didn't. She's not stepping to him with a feminist perspective. Deacon Roy, because feminism was really born out of white patriarchal privilege. So she's not approaching him in a feminist perspective because most times feminism means that they're anti-female altogether. We want to be one of the boys. That's just nutshell. I ain't got time to really go all into it. But a womanist perspective is where I would preach it from if I was dealing with that, because a womanist perspective means that anybody who is oppressed has my attention. Not just women, but black people also, and Asians, and y'all not feeling me, and babies and children, and anybody who is facing oppression. A womanist perspective helps everybody who's been subjugated. She doesn't even come to Jesus in a womanist perspective. She comes as a mother. She's saying, Jesus, I'm a mother that loves my daughter, and I believe that you can fix it. I had the plan to come here. I've been prepared to call you Lord. I presented my problem. I showed great patience and persistence, but I need this congregation to start looking promising. Somebody here knows what I'm talking about. See, the more you hang around Jesus, the more promising things get. I wish I had time to deal with it, but what happens is that the more she talked to him, the more things seem to progress her way. And I don't know about you, but the more I believe that you talk to Jesus, it seems like things begin to brighten up. Where he wasn't talking in verse 23, now they have a dialogue together. He says, it's not right if I take the children's bread and toss it to dogs. She's not done with the Lord. She says, yeah, Lord, but even the dogs eat from the crumbs that fall from the master's table. Nikki Giovanni says, I really don't think life is about the would-haves and could-haves. She says life is about the I tried it. She says, and even in failure, I could not forgive myself if I didn't try. That's what Nikki Giovanni says. She says that life is not about the I could-haves and would-haves. It's about the I tried. Is there anybody here that says I tried? I mean, if I don't get it, at least I tried. If I don't get the healing, at least I tried. If she doesn't get blessed, at least I tried. I mean, I walked 12 miles back home, but at least I tried. Do I have anybody in here that tried? Do I really have any mothers in here that says, the Lord knows I tried. I prayed down through the midnight hours. I tried when that boy wouldn't come home, when that girl cussed me from A to Z. Lord knows I tried. I've been down to the jailhouse. I'll never give up on my children. I've been down to the courthouse. The judges know your name, but you will not give up on your children. I need to tell you, I like Boys and Men. Don't get mad, but I like a song they wrote. They said, Mama, Mama, you know I love you. Oh, you know I love you, Mama. You're the queen of my heart. Your love is like tears from the stars. Says, Mama, I just want you to know that loving you is like food to my soul. Oh, I'm going to get you with some pop because some of y'all like that. He says, I love paying rent when the rent's due. I hope you got the diamond necklace that I sent you, because when I was low, you were there for me. Never left me alone because you cared for me. I could see you coming home late, trying to fix us a hot plate. You was working on the scraps you were given. Mama made miracles every Thanksgiving. Now the road got rough and you're alone, trying to raise two bad kids on your own. There's no way I can pay you back, but the plan is to show you that I understand. I do appreciate you. I'm gone, y'all. But Exodus 20:12 says to honor your father and your mother all of your days, so that your days can be long. I'm gone. I really gotta go. I don't know how long I held you, but I'm gone when I tell you this. Hear this, Tracy. A man, Brandon, had gone to order flowers for his mother that lived 250 miles away. Deacon Cousins, he goes in that flower shop. He says, I'm going to order Mama some flowers. I'm going to have them wired so she'll get them by tomorrow. But as he was entering into the flower shop, he saw a little young girl and a little young boy sitting on the curb crying. He went in and he ordered his flowers for his mother. He came back out. They were still there crying. He says, why are you crying? They said, we're just trying to buy 2 roses, just 2, so that we can give to our mother. But together we only have about 54 cents. The man says, come in, I'll buy you 2 roses. He buys them 2 roses, gives them the rose, and he says, can I take you where you need to be? I don't like you guys out here by yourself. They say, yeah, you can take us actually to our mother. He lets them in the car. He begins to drive Renee, and the cemetery is off to the right. They say, you can let us off here. He said, no, this is a cemetery. Where's your mother? They say, oh, you don't understand. Mother's here. He let them off, went back to the flower store, canceled his order, and took his flowers 250 miles to his mother. And I don't know who I'm talking to, but you need to thank God for your mother. If your mother is alive, give God the praise. And if your mother is dead and gone and in heaven with the Lord, still give God some praise. Because, my brothers and sisters, somebody knows that there's a song that says, precious memories. How they linger. Y'all help me preach. And how they ever flood my soul. Have I got a witness? I thank God for my mother. And you know, we all can say that we've had some good days and we had some hills to climb. We started out with some weary days and some sleepless nights. But do I have a witness that when we look around and we think things over, all of our good days, they outweigh our bad days. And we won't complain because in the bad days, mama was there. We had mama to rock us to sleep at night. We had mama to talk to us and tell us that everything was gonna be all right. Mama could look at us and tell if we were all right. She could look at us and say, come here, baby. What's on your mind? Mama knew all about it. And mama helped us to bring our problems unto the Lord. That reminds me of a song. It says, Rock of Ages, cleft for me. Let me hide myself in thee. Let the water and the blood from thy wounded side which flowed be of sin and devil cure. Save from the wrath and make me pure. Mama would soothe us. Mama would save us. Mama would secure us. Mama would saturate us. Mama's taught us neology, which is greater than theology. Mama taught us how to get on our knees. She taught us that life was more than a now I lay me down to sleep. No, mama taught us how to pray, and I learned to know this problem that I had just couldn't seem to solve. I prayed and I prayed, kept getting deeper involved, but when I turned it over to Jesus, I stopped worrying about it. I turned it over to the Lord, and didn't he work it out? If you got a mama that taught you how to pray, you ought to give God praise. If you got a mama who's still praying for you, you need to give God praise. My mama prayed for me, had me on her mind, took the time to pray for me. I'm so glad she prayed. I'm so glad mama prayed for me. Now on the count of 3, give God praise for your amazing mother. On the count of 3, give God praise for your sanctified mother. On the count of 3, give God praise for your loving mother. 1, 2,